Hey mamas, welcome to Let Mama Live, the podcast. I am Jenn Pittman, mama of two, mama of boys, mama of a preschooler and a preteen, I can't believe it, and an autism mama, and I am here with you to celebrate the joy in the struggle of this journey that we call motherhood. Yes, there's so much joy in this struggle. There's so much joy in the journey. But the struggle, y'all, the struggle is definitely real. So I've created Let Mama Live so that you, mama, can have a place to come and relate with someone. You can relax knowing that you're not alone, and you can release the stress that you're facing in this journey with no judgment. This here is a no judgment zone. I'm going to share my struggle and I hope you chime in, follow along with the discussion. It will continue on our Instagram page at Let Mama Live. So be sure to follow us on Instagram at Let Mama Live. You'll see the post about the podcast, and in the comments, we'll continue this discussion. I want to hear from you. Also, our email address, letmamalive@gmail.com. I want to hear from you, mama. Any struggles that you're having when it comes to the topic of this episode, any advice that you may need, email me, letmamalive@gmail.com. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. I'm so excited. This is our first episode in 2020. And our first episode, honestly, in a long time. Yes, I am guilty. The consistency kind of wore off. But it's okay. We're getting back on track. 2020 is a new year. Hey, every year is a new year. And we say this year is our year. Some people say that. This year is our year. Well, I'm just appreciative of a new year because it has symbolized an opportunity to reset and restart again. And that's where I'm at. I'm resetting and I'm restarting again with Let Mama Live. And I hope that you are able to get something out, chew up the meat, spit out the bones when it comes to Let Mama Live. Whatever you need, I am here for you, honey. Yes, I am. So, Jen, where you been, Jen? So, I have been working. The reason why the consistency kind of fell off with Let Mama Live is because I have been working. I was working a job that required a lot of my time, a lot of my attention, and unfortunately a lot of my energy. And though I enjoyed many parts of it, it was fulfilling. The experience was amazing. My time was very limited. It took time away from myself, self-care. It took time away from my family, and it took time away from the other things that I was working on, like Let Mama Live. And so I was in a position where I had to choose. I had to choose if I was going to work my 9 to 5, come home and grind until I drop, or come home, handle the kids, handle the family, and then go to bed. And I chose to go to bed. I'm not gonna lie. I chose to go to bed. Some people feel like in order to be successful and grind, you have to go without sleep. But why would you do that to your body? Why would you go all that way and go until you can't go anymore? That's not healthy, and I'm not doing that to myself. So that's where I've been working. And recently, if you've watched my latest video about shifting your thinking, it's on my YouTube channel, Let Mama Live. And if you're watching this, then you have been on the YouTube channel, and I hope you subscribe, and join the Mama Tribe. So when it comes to that video, shifting your thinking, you heard me say there have been some changes in my life, and with those changes comes ups and downs. And the latest change in my life had been moving from this 9 to 5 or 7:30 to 4:30 schedule to being a part-time employee and working on my business part-time. I hope to create a platform where I can become independent in my career as a health educator, a public health educator, and a certified health coach. and Let Mama Live is that platform. So with that being said, I really appreciate the support that you provide. I was telling someone that sometimes when you do things like this, like podcasting and YouTube, and you never know who is watching, and you don't know if anyone is watching, let alone who is watching. But I'm a firm believer in quality over quantity. I know that if you are watching this or listening to this, that you are a supporter of Let Mama Live. You are a supporter of Jenn Pittman. And because of that, all I can do is say thank you and continue to give you content that you can use for growth, that you can use for empowerment. And ultimately, what I am doing is taking my pain and turning that into empowerment for mamas like me, for mamas who hope to be moms with babies in the future, and for mamas who are our young girls that are listening in and watching us, and we are being an example to them. So when I talk about Let Mama Live, it's not just a mom with children or with a child, but it's also women who wish to be mothers in the future, because we have to take care of ourselves, y'all. Like, if we want to be a mama in the future, that stress that we're building up currently is going to be carried on to our unborn child whenever we conceive. So we need to take care of that ourselves. We don't want that to become generational, and then our young women, mama is a term of endearment for our young women out there. They are watching us. We are their example. So we need to show them the right way to properly manage your stress so that you don't have the challenges that we are having as adults. And the thing with, I'm going beyond the discussion, but it's okay. So listening, I'm on my soapbox for a second here. So, chew up the meat, spit out the bones. But the thing with young women, our young mamas out there, is that it's much more than managing stress for them. They have to learn conflict resolution. They have to learn communication skills. They have to learn how to build their self-confidence. They have to learn how to have positive attitudes in spite of all the negativity that is happening around them. They have so much that they have to learn. And unfortunately, for a lot of us as adults that are currently adults in 2020, we've learned the hard way. Life got a hold of us and beat us up a few times, and we learned through that. That's where we learned our lesson, through life, and the experiences and the tests that we went through ultimately became our testimony. And so for our young mamas, we need to be an example for them. And I hope that they learn all the skills that they need to possibly learn to be functional women and eventually mothers. And some of our young mamas, they're already mothers. And so those who are already mothers, we need to stand behind them and teach them how to be the best that they could possibly be by taking care of themselves so that they can better take care of their babies. So I'm off my soapbox. I think I got it all out. Thank you for listening. Okay, let's move on. So if you are listening to this or watching this while you're cleaning up, I enjoy YouTube and podcasting, and I listen to several podcasts while I'm cleaning up. While I'm driving, while I'm washing dishes, folding clothes, or whatever. It's a form of entertainment, and I enjoy it. So if you're listening to this while you're cleaning up, thank you. Welcome. If you're listening to this while you're chilling, get you a drink. I got my water with me. Get you a tea. Get you something a little stronger if that's what you like. I'm not judging you, because I'm not going to. Yeah, get you a little something stronger if that's what you like. But tune in as we continue to be better moms, as we continue to take care of ourselves so that we can better take care of our children. So today, the episode is entitled Celebrating the Joy in the Struggle of Being a Working Mama. I felt like since this is my recent change in life, being a working mama, this would be an awesome topic to touch on that so many of you can relate to. And so with that being said, as a working mama, You have the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I want to share a little bit about the good and the bad and the ugly for me when it comes to why I made the transition I made, that I'm grateful to be able to make, because everybody can't afford to make that move. But I'm fortunate enough to have a supportive spouse that allowed me to do that until I get into a routine. And so with that, I got my notes here, my handy dandy notebook. All right. So if you see me looking down, if you're watching, that's what I'm looking at. And so, working mama, when it comes to the good for me is the money. So it's not just the money like, oh, I'm going to be rich, because unfortunately in this world, sometimes we are not paid what we are valued at. I'm not going to go there, but sometimes we're not paid what we're valued at. So we get enough to be able to support our families. We get enough to do special things with our families, and to create experiences with our families and for ourselves. And that's one good that I really appreciate. When I was working a 9 to 5 or 7:30 to 4:30, or 8 to 5, I'm sorry. I really appreciated being able to have money to either put away for something special, do some amazing things with my children, from football games to amusement parks to arcades or whatever it may be. Let them have some fun and be children and enjoy life, even if it's the smallest thing as taking my oldest, who loves Wendy's, like taking him to Wendy's to get a 4 for $4. I mean, 4 for $4 is not that expensive, but I mean, it's greatly appreciated when your thing is going to Wendy's as a child. So that's the good thing in being a working mama, being able to have the money to enjoy things with your kids, to provide as well, to be able to pay your bills, to be able to pay your debt off, to be able to save up for a car or whatever your dream may be or your vision may be to use your money on. That's the good thing. That was the good thing for me about being a working mama. And then the other good thing is the experience. I have been fortunate enough to have jobs that have been in my career field as a public health educator. I have grown so much as a program manager, managing programs that are nonprofit or grant funded, as a public health educator when it comes to public speaking, when it comes to educating about how to keep your body healthy and how to make sure your neighbor isn't affected by the negative behaviors that you make, or your community. Man, even when I first started my real career shortly after graduating from college as a teacher, I spent a few years as a teacher, and that was even rewarding. So that experience has made me stronger, has made me tougher, has made me wiser, and has put me in a place where I am able to create this platform like Let Mama Live, using all the experience that I've gained in the workforce. So being a working mama isn't that bad, but there is some bad that comes with it, and there is the ugly that comes with it. And I think the worst part, I don't want to say the worst part, I would say when it comes to the bad, I think the bad part about being a working mama is mom guilt, having that mom guilt, being away from your children, having to find support for your children while you're at work, whether it's a babysitter, whether it's, another daycare provider. That's money coming out of your pocket. And some moms out there may feel like they're going to work just to pay for childcare and bills. And you might not have the ability to splurge or have fun and all of that. And so your experience may be different, but that's the bad of it all. Like that mom guilt. When I was working my last full-time job, we were fortunate to have and still have to this day people to help us out, to support us. My schedule was to the point where I was unable to take my children to school. And on most days, I was unable to even pick them up from school. And being an autism mama, being a mama, oh, let me turn that off. I'm sorry, y'all. And being and being an autism mama, being a mama of a child that is not always accepted in a typical environment for children his age as a preteen, that's even harder. Like it was times when we had nowhere to put our kid. Like, who's going to take care of this kid? And I still have to work. So like I said, we've been grateful to have people to step up and help us. And even though they haven't been able to help us in every capacity that we wanted them to, we are grateful that we had them. But that time away from my children, let me tell you, because in some workplaces you have limited time that you can take off of work. I've missed first day of school for preschool. I missed that. I went to orientation for preschool, but I was limited on my time because I only had like an hour of leave that I could take for that type of activity, you know. And when I didn't miss out on certain things, it was like I had to rush. It was like taken away from the experience, and that took a toll on me. I did not enjoy that at all. It actually made me very sad, not depressed, but I was very sad. And sometimes you find yourself at work, like looking around like, I really enjoy this job. However, I'd rather be with my children. I'd rather be here or be there. And kind of leave you a little jealous sometimes that the people who are with your children at those moments are able to experience that and you're not. And so the bad is there, that mom guilt, being away from the children and having to, I hate to say it, but pawn your children off on other people. You have those people that are supporting you and you're giving them the opportunity to be there with your children and create those experiences with them. So that is the bad that I had with being a working mama. And then we have the ugly. What can be worse than being away from your kid? I think the ugly for me in all of my work experiences, I'm not talking about just one specific work experience, all of them except for maybe one. I had one job that I absolutely loved, and to this day, if I was still living where we were living, I would still be working there. Like, I wish they could hire me now. I loved that job, but unfortunately I had to leave. But I think the ugly is experiencing workplace bullying from people who you work with. And some of those people are superiors. Some of those people are direct supervisors or immediate supervisors. I've experienced workplace bullying in at least 2 of the places that I've worked. And both were from direct reports, both. And one, I kind of used it as motivation and encouragement to do better and to become stronger in that position. And the other, I tried to address it and it didn't go in my way. It didn't work in my favor. And so I had to move on from that position. So workplace bullying, having a toxic work environment. It's nothing like giving up your time away from your children and going to work and sitting in this toxic environment where you don't like anyone, where everybody's just ugly, like they don't want to be there either. So they're expressing that through their actions towards you, through their words, through their attitude, or you're in a position that is very high pressure and that requires a lot of your time, that requires a lot of your energy, and you're constantly walking on eggshells, not knowing if today will be the day that they let you go. You know, it's like worse. And I think the best experience, because the best advice, because in one of the workplaces that I was in, I experienced workplace bullying to the point where it physically made me sick. The amount of stress that I experienced in that workplace made my body completely shut down. And I had to go to doctors for a whole month, couldn't figure out what it was. So finally, the doctor said, "What is wrong with you? What do you think it is?" And I said, "I think it's stress." So that led to me going to see a therapist and dealing with depression and things like that. I dealt with infertility, and these are going to be some topics that we're going to touch on the podcast, not today, but on other episodes, so stay tuned. But stress causes infertility, and I experienced that, so be careful. Anyway, I went through infertility, and the best advice that I received from one of the therapists that I saw was sometimes it's less stressful to leave a toxic work environment or a toxic situation than it is to stay in a toxic work environment or a toxic situation. Sometimes it's less stressful. That was the fire under my butt to get up and figure out a way out of this situation, because that conversation came about because I was living in a place, when you're military, you live in these small towns and opportunities aren't always there. Sometimes opportunities are only there if you're a teacher or if you're a nurse or in certain professions. But in the world of public health, it is so hard to find a job as a public health educator or as a manager of a nonprofit or as a grant manager or whatever your title may be in public health. It is really hard. Some of these towns didn't even have, they had a health department, but their health department has specific focuses. And so they may have had a health department without a public health department without health educators, but they had immunizations or they had other departments. So it was really hard to find a position, and that led to stress. It's like, man, I'm never going to get out of this environment because it's so stressful to find a job that is in my career field. And that therapist encouraged me and motivated me by telling me that sometimes it's less stressful to leave a toxic situation than it is to stay in one. And to this day, if I am in a toxic work environment, I'm not going to sit in there much longer than what I need to. No, I'm not doing it. I'm going to find a way out, whether it's quitting or whether it's quitting to go to another job or whether it is, applying for another position to move to another department or whatever it may be. I'm going to leave, period. I'm not going to stay. And so, the ugly is what we have a hard time with overcoming. Some people, again, they don't have the option of leaving. Some people, they have to sit in this for a little while until they get in a position to be able to move. And if you are in that situation now where you have to sit in this unhealthy, toxic environment for a little while or for a long while, I encourage you to put yourself in the position and prepare yourself to move. Because your time is going to come where you're going to get the opportunity to move. And the question is going to be, are you ready? Are you ready? So I encourage you to prepare yourself for that change. And I also want to encourage you not to sit in that environment forever thinking that, oh my gosh, it's going to be so much stress trying to find my way out. Sometimes it's less stressful to leave a toxic situation than it is to stay in one. Best advice ever. Best advice ever. I will always follow it. And then we have to be mindful of the stress and the negative effects of stress. Like I said, stress could cause your body to shut down. It can lead to depression. It can lead to infertility. It's so many things that stress can lead to. We have to be very, very careful when it comes to that. Another thing, and then I'm going to move on. Another thing that I'm starting to learn is that energy can be transferred. Like if I am having a horrible day at work and then I go home, those people who are, who I come home to, my children, my husband, they're going to experience that negative energy if I decide to bring it home. Now, some people are in a position where they can just leave work at work, but all positions are not like that, where you can just leave it at work. Sometimes you come home with that stuff on your head, especially, or in your mind, especially if you are in a position where you don't really have anybody to talk to. So your spouse might be your sounding board, and you come home and you just lay it on them. And he's experiencing his own struggle at work. It's hard for him to even listen to the struggle that you're going through. Maybe the person who you're talking about is treating you wrong and he doesn't like that, or she doesn't like that. Whatever it may be, when you come into your home from your workplace with that negative energy, it's going to affect those people who are around you that you love the most. So be careful of that. Now, so my transition, I transitioned from a 9 to 5 to a more flexible position where I'm working remotely, and I'm not working full time anymore. I'm working part time, and the rest of the time I'm spending as a mom. I said that with the face, like my face was like, yeah, as a mom. No, I'm happy. I am happy to be able to spend the remaining of that time as a mom, and as a wife, as a homemaker, and as an entrepreneur. So the entrepreneurial struggle is a little different than the 9 to 5 struggle. You know, there is good. I mean, you have your ownership. You're owning what you're doing. You have the ability to be flexible with when you decide to work. And so compared to someone who goes to an 8 to 5 or a 9 to 5, is like the flexibility isn't really there. Your flexibility is based on how much leave time you have available to take off for your kids. Unless you are fortunate to have a workplace that allows you to bring the kids to your job, or that allows you to take off to take care of your kids, which I've had before, and I've been grateful for that opportunity as well. So I'm working remotely and I'm owning my own business. Ownership is wonderful. Ownership is flexible. It's like you're just taking yourself and becoming independent with all the experiences that you've experienced in life or in the workplace. You're just blowing that stuff up and making it big for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So ownership has some good things, but they also have some bad things and some ugly things. So for me, the bad is income consistency. You have to hustle, you have to grind to have income consistently. So you might have a good month in January and be good, but February might not be the best. So how are you going to make up for that? So that comes with what? Stress. Let's talk about stress. Okay, I'm done. That comes with stress. That comes with stressful moments. And how do you handle that stress? Hopefully you come to Let Mama Live and let me show you how to do that. Hopefully you're finding ways to release some of that negativity. Hopefully you're finding ways to shift your mindset in so many ways. Hopefully you're meditating. Hopefully you're practicing mindfulness, and hopefully you're practicing affirmations and positive self-talk. Check my video out on YouTube. Shift your thinking. Okay. So that was the only bad I can think of, like income inconsistency, or consistency. The ugly can also be a good thing. The ugly is the hustle, the grind. The grind is astronomical. Like, you thought you were grinding on a 9 to 5, but this time your grind is either going to help you or hurt you. When you're working at a 9 to 5, you're grinding for somebody else. When you're an entrepreneur, you're grinding for yourself. So if you don't have that grind or that hustle, it can be an ugly thing. If you do have that grind in your in hustle, it can also be a tough, challenging, ugly thing if you're not taking care of yourself. If you are not taking care of yourself, it can be an ugly thing. But that's not going to be us, right? We're going to take care of ourselves. We're going to do what we have to do. And we have Let Mama Live here to support you. Jen is here for you. I am here for you. So that is the good, the bad, and the ugly of being a working mom, being an entrepreneur. Whatever you choose to do, whatever way you choose to make your way of living, take care of yourself. That's what the main moral of this episode is. You have to take care of yourself. And also to know that you're not alone. We all struggle. We all are at work and don't want to be there. Rather be with our kids, rather be in the bed, rather be somewhere else other than there. But we have to be there. Some of us do. And so you are not alone. Relax. Chillax. You are not alone. So I saw a funny article. It was, let me see. It was in Today's Parent. It was on a website, Today's Parent. And it was 15 working mom confessions. And so I picked out 5 of them, 15 working mom confessions. And this is by someone named Mandy Milks. So I picked out a few that relates to me. And if you're watching, pulling out my phone to pull this up because some of them are super funny. Okay, so number 1, the one that, like I said, I picked out 5 of them, y'all. I picked out 5 out of the 15. And these are the ones that most relate to me. Remember, this is a no judgment zone. I don't want to hear you or see you or read about you judging me. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. All right. I got this. Okay. So number 1, the first one I liked was number 1. Number 1 says, I bribe my kids with food. I bribe my kids with food. I bribe them with treats. I do. Don't judge me. Okay. So snacks in little packs are crucial to luring children in any direction you need them to go in a timely fashion. Not at all like trained seals. Nope, not at all. We are not above putting candy in lunch boxes if it means they will get in the car and go to school with 10% less whining. Let me tell you, someone around Halloween gave me some extra candy that they had left over. And if you're a mom like me, I'm not gonna, okay, so you have these holidays. One is coming up, Valentine's Day, Easter, Halloween, Christmas. Am I missing one? I think that is all of them, mainly birthdays that comes with candy. These holidays that come with candy. And so some of them are back to back. So if December and February. December, my kid is coming home with a whole bunch of candy. February, he's going to come home with more. I'm not going to let him sit there and eat all of that candy, or either one of them sit there and eat all of that candy. So some of that candy I hold to the side as prizes, as rewards for doing some of the things I need you to do. Like getting in the car before school, or put your shoes on fast, or whatever it may be, or going to school, period, or going to school. I mean, I use those treats. So somebody gave me a bag of Smarties that they had left over from Halloween, and I use those treats. I use those Smarties. I've been lately, this week actually, putting them in lunch boxes, the 2 lunch boxes. And so now my son's like, my preschooler, it's like, I don't want to go to school, Mama. I don't want to go to school. And I said, well, what if I put a treat in your lunchbox? Would you want to go to school then? Oh, yeah, I like treats. It works, y'all. It works. So I am doing it. I do it. Don't judge me. And this person, whoever wrote this, she's doing it too. Okay, so number 4. Here we go. Number 4. We don't always eat dinner together at a table. We don't always eat dinner together at a table. Now, for my family, we're getting better at it, but it don't always happen. Especially when I was working like a 9 to 5. We barely ate a cooked meal sometimes. Okay, so let's hear the explanation. There's a lot of pressure to get home cooked meals on the table while asking those burning questions like, what did you learn today at school? Insert cricket sounds. All within the 2 or 3 hour window between pickup and bedtime. Inevitably, the meal takes longer than expected. Someone poops their pants and someone else spills spaghetti on the dog. It's all good. Gathering around the kitchen island totally counts. And a Friday dinner in front of a movie is the best thing ever. Yes, so it's okay if you don't sit at the table and eat dinner. It's okay if you're eating fast food a couple times. You know, the struggle is real, especially when you have a preschooler or a toddler, or I have a kid with autism, striving with autism. The struggle is real. It used to be so hard to even get my kid to eat. Oh, and those moms, I salute you. The moms who have children with ADHD, and unfortunately or fortunately, both, you have to maybe put them on medication to get them to have a successful day. Some of those medications are appetite suppressants. Some of those medication changes their moods as a side effect. Boy, I have a story to tell when it comes to that. And just know the struggle is real. And I understand that a dinner around the dinner table is probably not even logical for you. So I salute you, and we're not judging you. It just happens that way. Okay. All right, let's move on. So number 6, laundry. We were talking about, I can't remember who I was talking to, but we were talking about I'm missing the word. I'm trying to figure out the word. The chore that you least like to do. The chore that you least like to do. Somebody said laundry is their chore that they least like to do. Yes, laundry is one of mine. Dishes is another. And mopping. I don't like to mop. So anyway, laundry not happening. No one told you how much laundry came along with having kids, right? Designate that chest of drawers to hold all your lost hopes and dreams, and just use 2 big buckets instead. You have a big bucket for clean laundry and a big bucket for dirty laundry, and then you're done. Yes, I understand that struggle. Look, sometimes I wash load after load after load after load. And especially when you work, and it's like, I get up in the morning, get ready from work, throw a load of laundry in the wash, and then I come home and then I dry it, and then I just pull it all out and put it in a basket. And then next thing you know, we're pulling out clothes from a basket. That's the story of my life currently now. Ain't no reason to front. Like, that's the story of my life currently. We are going through baskets of clean clothes looking to see what we're going to wear for the day. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. At least you got clean clothes. You know what I'm saying? At least you got clean undies and clean socks. And if you don't, just throw them in a wash, dry them, and take them out. Laundry. Oh, my God. And then the worst is it's 2 worse. The worst is folding the laundry. I don't know why it's so hard to put the laundry away. Like, we could fold it and have it nicely sitting on the couch or on the table or in a basket. But when it comes to putting that stuff away, it's like, it ain't happening. Sometimes it just not happening. And then the second worst is when you thinking that you're like using your time effectively, and you decide that you're going to put the laundry in the wash right before bed, and then you fall asleep or something like that, and you wake up and the laundry is still in the wash, and it's like, now I gotta rewash this stuff. That is the worst. I know I'm not the only one. Don't judge me if I am, but I know I'm not, so I ain't worried about it. Okay, so another one is 2 more that I liked. Number 10, my kids get a lot of screen time. Kids have packed days too. A little after school TV may help them wind down and give you time to make dinner. Just don't make it a crutch, and be mindful of what they watch. Nature docs on Netflix are totally educational, and a great screen time secret weapon. So using TV to get you through making dinner, folding clothes, washing, vacuuming, doing homework for all my working mamas that are students as well. Whatever it may be, just using the TV is nothing wrong with that, y'all. Give them some educational stuff to watch. Let them learn. My oldest learned phonics from a DVD, Leapfrog. He really did. My youngest actually is using that same DVD, not the same DVD, but the same video to learn his ABCs, which he already knows. But when he was learning his ABCs, he used that and Super Y. So, hey, I'm not judging you if you decide to let the TV babysit your kids. You got nothing to do with me. You do what you got to do, right? To stay sane. Shoot. Okay, and so number 13. This is for all my preteen / teenager mamas. Okay, you ready for this? I encourage child labor. I encourage child labor, okay? There is a certain age when those tiny tyrants can actually take on small tasks and learn important life skills at the same time. Even a 4-year-old can wash apples and put lunches into his or her siblings' bag in the morning. If you make a job seem important, they will do it. It's all in the art of the sale. Okay. It's amazing. Okay, so with toddlers or with preschoolers, you can make anything seem like a blast. Like, I can make sweeping the floor into a game. Like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I'm sweeping this floor. And then the next thing you know, my preschooler is going to want to sweep the floor all the time. Washing the dishes is another one. Ooh, look at the bubbles. Ooh, yeah, the suds and the soap. And yeah, and then they're going to wash dishes. And then my oldest, he's at that age where it's like, take out the trash. Take out the trash. Make breakfast for you and your brother in the morning. He makes breakfast for him and his brother, and it's usually just cereal or oatmeal. Take the trash out. You know, like for real chores. Like, I don't know if kids do chores anymore. You know, growing up, I didn't do chores. Surprisingly, my mom didn't make us do chores, but you better believe I'm making this one do chores. I'm making mine do chores because I'm tired and I need some help. I believe in child labor to a certain extent. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. So that was funny when I saw that. 15 working mom confessions. Being a working mom is hard. And sometimes we see celebrities and they seem to make it easy. And what we don't see is the help that they have. Majority of us don't have helping hands. Majority of us don't have nannies. And the majority of us are doing everything on our own, and our significant others are expecting us to continue to do that. And so it was refreshing to read about Beyonce. It was kind of refreshing to read about Beyonce talk about her challenges as a working mama. Now, Beyonce is the queen. You talking about billionaires, and still having challenges as a working mama. So I think that gave a wonderful opportunity for us as common folk, basic folk, to be able to relate to the queen. I mean, for real. So one thing that she said in Cosmopolitan UK, and this is some time ago, but she said, I do believe that it's possible to have it all. Work, a career, babies, is all a question of being very organized. That's what I'm getting my head around. So that sparks a conversation for this episode of the podcast. Do you believe that it's possible to have it all? Is it possible to have working, a career, babies, exercise and be healthy, clean the house and have the house completely clean with the laundry put away. Like, is it possible to have all of that? And another question is, do you believe in balance? I've had moments, and if you listen to past podcasts or watch past videos of mine, I've had moments where it's like, I don't know if I believe in balance. Does balance truly exist? Is it more flexibility and less balance? Should we be striving to be flexible, where if any changes occur, we're able to shift quickly? Or should we be striving for balance, where every plate that you have weighs the same and gets the same amount of time or gets the same amount of attention? Like, I don't know. But what do you believe? Do you believe it's possible for us to have it all as working mamas, as mamapreneurs? Do you believe it's possible for us to have it all? You know, we see celebrities like Cardi B and other celebrities, mainly entertainers, who are like rappers or singers or something like that. They get pregnant and then people tell them, oh, your career is over. Like, you're done because you have a baby. And it's like, dude, why can't they have it all? So what do you think? Chime in the comments on YouTube. Chime in the comments on Instagram at Let Mama Live Instagram. On Instagram, I just said Instagram. On YouTube at Let Mama Live. Look us up. Chime in. If you are a follower of mine on I Am Jenn Pittman, the link is in the bio. If you are on Let Mama Live, the link is in the bio where you can get on the YouTube channel. And then we also have our email address, letmamalive@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I want to read your struggle and relate. So join in the conversation on letmamalive.com. Join in on the conversation on Instagram at Let Mama Live. It's a lot of Let Mama Lives. I'm getting tongue-tied. Join in on the conversation, the discussion. Instagram at Let Mama Live, YouTube Let Mama Live, and let me know what you think. Is it possible to balance, to have it all, work, career, babies, and all that other wonderful things, and get everything in life done? I mean, I'm in that position now. I have children, I have spouse, I have work, and I have career. And it's a struggle, but what do you think? I think it's possible. But it is a struggle. It is a struggle. And sometimes you're going to have to tap into the ugly of it all, whether it's the grind and the hustle, or whether it's the stress, or a little bit of time in this toxic work environment until you can get it out. But it's possible to me. It's possible. So that is the first episode of the year 2020. I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you're watching me on YouTube, remember to like us on Instagram at Let Mama Live. Remember to subscribe on YouTube and our channel, Let Mama Live. And I always like to leave you with 3 affirmations. But before we do our 3 affirmations, I first want to leave you with a moment of silence to be able to center yourself and get yourself together, a moment of meditation and a moment of mindfulness. Since we have our eyes open right now, we can just practice a little mindfulness. This is how you press the pause button when you need to press the pause button. So just breathe in and breathe out. Deep breaths in and out. And then we're going to practice awareness. Awareness is a big part of being mindful. Being aware of your surroundings. Being aware of what you can hear. Being aware of what you can see. I can see the camera. I can see my notes. I can see my water. I can see my mic. I hear the air conditioner that I'm so grateful for to have air. Or the heat that I'm so grateful for to have heat. I'm currently here with you recording this podcast. That's what I'm doing. So I'm being aware of what I have and what I can do, what I'm currently doing. And take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. And it's that simple, y'all. That's simple, okay? And then 3 affirmations. Oh, This is my happy spray. If you watched my last video, Shift Your Thinking, I had my happy spray in the video. This is my happy spray. This is sage, rosemary, and lavender, and some water. You got the secret sauce if you're listening into the podcast. Sage, rosemary, and lavender essential oils with some water. And it's my happy spray. It works wonders for me, and it works wonders for children. Now that I have to share later. I have to share how you can use this with your children. But I always like to leave you with the 3 affirmations. Continue to be bold, be confident, and be courageous. You say, I am bold, I am confident, and I am courageous. And keep grinding, y'all, because you know and I know that this struggle is definitely real. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.